All right. Sometimes I don't do a ton of talking during the warm-up.
You're good. We're live.
Hey, it's hockey day. Welcome to game one of the Rumble at the Recplex in Des Moines, Iowa. The Omaha Jr Maverick Bantam Red will take on the Des Moines Junior Buccaneers Blue team. Public skate before us, a little bit of downtime. Clean the glass around the rink, clean the ice up nice. And now the boys get a fresh start here for game one on Friday. We are opening up this tournament, like I said, against the Junior Bucs. We will be playing tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Central Time against the Sioux Falls Orange team. Here back at the Recplex at 11 a.m. And then tomorrow as well, we'll have two games. So 11 a.m. and 4:15 p.m. back at the Recplex again against the Worthington team. Do you know where Worthington's out of? I don't know either. We can try and find that out to give you a little bit more tidbit of information. But so we start off against the Des Moines Junior Buccaneers, play Sioux Falls Orange, then play Worthington. Those are our three games that are scheduled that'll determine who and what time we play on Sunday. Guaranteed Sunday play, no matter what. So money well spent here, getting good ice time in West Des Moines, just outside Jordan Creek. Beautiful facility, home of the senior or the USHL Des Moines Buccaneers team that you might notice from the painting on the ice. A fantastic facility here, the Mid-American Center or whatever they call this.
It's Recplex.
It has multiple names. Mid-America is a big sponsor here as well.
Oh,
so to the east of us here, kind of straight ahead center, outside of the rink, there's indoor soccer fields, indoor basketball courts, batting cages, and a number of other youth activity indoor uses here. And then behind us, directly behind, is another full sheet of ice with a slightly smaller seating arrangement. So they'll be having multiple games go on at once, and a beautiful concession and lobby and all sorts of accommodations at the Recplex here in West Des Moines. So looking forward to nice accommodations here for the Rumble at the Recplex in Des Moines. As far as I know, we've got a full lineup. Glad to have Roman Stonebreaker back. He missed last weekend with our three friendlies against St. Peter's. Omaha coming off three big wins at the Midwinter Classic in Omaha, Nebraska. Squeaked out three wins, 3-0, 3-1, and 1-0 to beat St. Peter's, but definitely a challenging games. St. Peter's had a good squad and a fantastic goalie that challenged the Omaha Junior Mavericks 3 times straight, but were able to pull off some wins there and get the boys ready for some tough competition here in Des Moines this weekend.
That goalie saw 107 shots that tournament from our boys in 3 games and stopped 100 of them.
Dave called two of the three of the games, and I kept commenting on how phenomenal their goaltender was. Great team and phenomenal goaltending. Just like you said, that's an unbelievable amount of shots. That was their only goalie.
Yes.
I guarantee he was worn out after that game. And a number of those shots he took off the face, probably 4 or 5 of them. And a couple of them our boys took to the legs and center of the back for Patera. So we're getting ready to start. Fresh 13 minutes goes on the clock of the first period. Charlie Patera, Paxton Schneider. Roman Stonebreaker is going to take the opening face-off here. Keeney's moving back to D. He'll pair up with Bear now that Stoney's back. Keeney had a fun weekend last weekend playing center and wing, playing forward for the first time. And Rosie will guard the pipes in the crease for the Omaha Mavericks. A puck drop, and Stoney chips one in backhand to get it deep into the Des Moines territory. Des Moines picks it up, passing it and making their way through the neutral zone. Nice poke check by Roman. Stoney pokes it right back into the offensive zone. Des Moines does a favor of ping-ponging it right back out to the neutral zone. Bear to Keeney. Keeney over to Patera. Patera loses control at the blue line. Des Moines, jousting back and forth. Finally, Des Moines sees Omaha's territory for the first time, but turns it over. Lofts it in deep. Stoney pokes it around behind the net. Bear lofts one over to Patera. Patera runs into his man trying to go up the short wall. Des Moines kept it in momentarily, and then Bear ices it all the way down. That'll stop the clock. 12 minutes and 9 seconds left. We got 2 minutes off the clock here in this first play, and it's mostly been in the neutral zone for the first 2 minutes of play. That icing by Bear will bring us back down to Omaha territory for a face-off. Jack Davis, Taz, and let's see, that's Heater. Heater takes a centering pass. A little jostling turn as he enters the zone, loses control, puck behind Des Moines' net. Des Moines now skating in out of their zone, tied up slightly by Jack Davis. Still working their way through the neutral zone, now in Omaha territory. Boss shoves the attacker to the boards, keeping him towards the middle. A centering pass goes past everybody and comes back out to center ice. Des Moines chips it ahead, now re-enters offensive territory. Boss keeping him to the outside. Des Moines chips one through the slot again. Picked up by Wyatt Tremaine. Tremaine trying to work it up the short wall. Jostled up at the blue line. A little help from the Boss, and that one comes back out to the neutral zone. Des Moines forced to reset once again. That's Ike and the Boss on defense. Ike now back to retrieve behind his own net, trying to chip one around the corner. A bouncing puck picked up by Des Moines, rung it around the boards for a defense. A shot on goal, the first shot on goal of the game, saved by Rosie. There's Ike in the corner, gets come out to the middle. Sturba trying to hurry to it. Ike deflects a shot off his pads, comes back out to red line. A change on the fly. Des Moines all alone with a breakaway shot and a score! Des Moines a turnover in the neutral zone right as Omaha was changing legs there. A little change on the fly. They had an uncontested breakaway, and Des Moines will get their first goal of the game to make the score 1-0 here. 10:42 left in the first period. T-squared, court right. Allers come out to take this centering face-off with Nandor and Fleming on D. Puck drop, one back to Fleming. Fleming goes to the boards, pitches it off the wall ahead to T-squared. Lost control. Des Moines picks it up on the wall, pitches it back to Fleming in the neutral zone. Fleming over to Courtright, a one-touch, lost control. Nandor picks it up, turns around, gets it back out of the zone. Courtright can't poke check his man. Des Moines going cross ice. Fleming gets it now loose in top of his circle. He goes with a pop fly over to Courtright, who can't quite get the pass. Nandor pokes it ahead again. Courtright battling two men there, loses control again. Nice poke check by Fleming, keeps the puck in the neutral zone. Des Moines circling in their own end. T-squared on the forecheck. Bodies his man. Courtright picks it up, chips it back to Nandor. Nandor cross ice to Fleming. Fleming shot and a big save. Goalie will freeze. The first shot on goal by the Omaha Mavericks comes from Will Fleming. 9:45 left in the first period. 1-0. Des Moines in the lead. Face off in Des Moines territory. Out comes Patera, Stoney, and Heater once again. Paxton Schneider, sorry. Keeney gets the puck off the draw. Roman chips it in deep. Patera's down deep to retrieve. He's got a couple of attackers. Tries to get it out to the front. Des Moines bats it out of the slot. Paxton now goes deep in the corner for it. Paxton tries to ring it up the wall. Keeney gets it. Turned over at the blue line. Keeney back checking aggressively. Foils any sort of offensive attack. Nice job by Roman to drop back and play some defense. Gets the puck back out into the neutral zone. Des Moines regroups back on their own blue line. Pass ahead through the neutral zone. Keeney with a nice shoulder. Des Moines enters the zone. Slot, shot, wide of the net. A little punch in the corner to Paxson, but the puck will come out of the zone. Patera, outnumbered by defense, gets pinched at the top of the slot. Des Moines takes over, bounces it off the boards. Roman back up to Patera. Patera gets it across the blue line, but Des Moines picked his pocket. Heater on a puck race to the corner. He wins, but there's a lot of Des Moines legs in the way. Heater and Patera picks it up top of the circle, fires one over the top of the net. Jack Davis now out there on the change on the fly. Jack keeping it in along the short wall. Pitches it in deep. Heater gonna go to retrieve in the corner. Pinches his first man. Second man got control. Des Moines now passing it and skating it out of the zone. Lost control right as they cross the blue line. Chips it down deep. Not quite barely into Omaha territory. Ike will skate it through the neutral zone. A lot of attackers. Fires, scores! Ike threaded the needle skating through 3 attackers and hit it top shelf over the stick side of the goaltender to make the score 1-1. Wyatt Ike, nice job. Unassisted, I believe. I don't think he picked that up in his own end. He scored 77. Wyatt Ike, there we go. And no assists, you can just hit complete. Perfect. 1-1, Omaha Mavericks. Jack Davis, Braden Sturba, Wyatt Tremaine out there on offense with the Bucs and Ike still remaining out there on defense. Puck goes deep in Omaha's territory after the puck drop. Mavericks doing some dirty work here to try and get it out of the zone. Des Moines sends it back in deep. Ike bodies his man. Des Moines gets it out in the slot. Nice job by Boss to clear it. Wyatt wings one. Sauces it over to Sturba. Just barely out of reach. Des Moines resets at their blue line. Enters lots of defense back. Nice poke check by Ike. Sends it to the short wall. Pops out to the middle for the Boss. Boss is going to skate this one. Gaining speed through the neutral zone. Way too much defense. He's forced to chase his loose puck back behind the net. Des Moines bats it around the boards. Des Moines trying to ring it back out to the blue line. They can't. Pinched by Sturba and Tremaine, keeps it in for the moment, but then they regain control and now skate it out of their zone. They dump it cross ice in deep. The icing's waved off. Fleming retrieves behind his own goal line. Tries to push it up the boards to Sturba. Sturba gets pinched by 2 defenders. Des Moines pops it to their defense and out of the zone. Des Moines forced to reset. Tremaine on the forecheck. T-squared intercepts it as it was coming through. Des Moines picked the pass back up, sends it back out of the zone. This one likely an ice. Nope, waved off, touched a player. Nandor back to circle behind his own goal line. The dodging attacker, bounces it off the board. Des Moines picks it up. A deflected shot from the blue line goes wide, back behind. Fleming over to Stonebreaker. Stonebreaker over to Nandor. Nandor hit the backside of T-squared, lost his edge, and Des Moines will take it right back into Omaha territory. Through some legs, poke checked by Nandor. Forces Des Moines to the wall. Nandor goes around behind his own net with the pass. Fleming bodies his man, chips it out of the zone. Loose puck at Des Moines' blue line. Courtright on the forecheck. Almost a turnover. He'll stay on the attack as Des Moines rings it behind their own net. Nandor keeps it in momentarily at the blue line, but Des Moines chipped it out of the zone. A little reconfiguring here in the neutral zone. T scored, won one hard, and cleared it into the zone before he went for the change. Out comes Patera, Jack Davis, and Paxton Schneider. Patera gets the turnover there right in the neutral zone. Took it into offensive territory for a moment, and Des Moines pushed it right back out. This one gets sailed down into Omaha's zone. Bear picks it up deep in his own zone. Bounces it off the wall for Jack. Jack to Schneider. Schneider chasing a loose puck in Omaha's territory. Patera will pick it up on the short wall. Fire well wide of the net, so hard that it comes back out of the zone, forcing Bear and Keeney to retrieve it back in their own end. Omaha. It's Gavin Bear. Gavin Davis fires one, misses everyone, got touched up. Icing's waved off. Now Des Moines retrieving it deep in their own zone. Rung around the board, Jack Davis. Tried to pull it off the wall, got hit a little bit from behind. Loose puck still at the top of the circle. Patera fires, and a big save by the goalie will freeze the play at 4:39 left in the first period. 1-1 the score. Kind of a lot of neutral zone play for a majority of this first period. Allers, Heater, and Taz out there on offense as the puck goes deep into Des Moines territory off of that face-off drop. Ike picks it up at the blue line. Ike pushes it to the short wall to Allers. Allers nudged from behind. A little turnover for Des Moines. Allers doing a good job of back checking, but Des Moines pushes it in deep. Ike defending two as he goes deep in his own zone to pick up this loose puck. Boss helps it around the short wall. Allers trying to continue that movement out of the zone, but Des Moines keeps it in. Ike picks it up in his slot, gets it out of the zone. Heater can't help it move forward. Des Moines pushes it right back in. Nice cross-ice pass from Boss to Sturba. Sturba bumped at the red line. Des Moines picks it up. Des Moines skating it in Omaha territory once again. Lots of Omaha defense back. Good body by the Boss. Des Moines will still pick up the loose puck and get a shot that goes well high and wide over the net. Allers helped it come back out to the neutral zone. That one off sides as Des Moines tried to get it right back in. Starting to see a little bit more hitting and relatively clean. No penalties here. Knock on wood so far in the game. 3:36 left in the first period. 1-1 the score. Roman, Patera, and that's Tremaine out there on offense. A little back and forth in the neutral zone before Des Moines carries it in. Shot on goal from the blue line, easily handled by Rosie. Rosie pushes it to the corner. Corner battle with Roman, and Courtright will push it up the short wall out of the zone, but then Des Moines taps it in deep. Roman's going to be skating off, holding his arm a little bit. He took a hit in the corner. He's on his own, kind of holding his arm. Looks like he's going to be all right. I think he might be a little more frustrated than hurt, but nonetheless, he's going for the line change. T-squared, Jack Davis and Courtright now on offense with Nandor, Fleming on defense. Des Moines wins the face-off cleanly in the neutral zone. Charges into offensive territory. Shot from the wall, easily handled by Rosie. Swallows it up and freezes the play at 3:01 left in the first period. 1-1 the score. Same legs will remain on the ice. Face-off coming up in Omaha territory. Jack Davis on this face-off draw. Puck one back cleanly to the point. Des Moines shot. Big save by Rosie. Puck loose on the short wall. Fleming picking it up, skating it behind his own net. Rings one hard around the boards. That one goes past the D. Trickles behind the goal line. Icing's waved off. Des Moines picks it up now in their own end, rings it around behind their own net. Nice forecheck by T-squared and Courtright a little bit to make it slow, but nonetheless they toss it in Omaha territory. Fleming, nice shake and bake, gets some room to go cross ice to Courtright. Courtright jostled up by some defenders, loses control of the puck to Des Moines deep in their own end. Nice job forechecking by Jack Davis. Intercepted the pass, but couldn't keep control of it. Des Moines tries to go cross ice. Fleming picks it up at his own blue line. Skates quickly in the offensive territory. He's got lots of traffic. And another goal! Fleming got it to the middle, and I believe it's Paxton Schneider that was able to tip it in home. Fleming on the charge. Too much attackers couldn't quite get a clean shot off, so Paxton was able to just give it a nice tap and hit the top side to make the Omaha Mavericks go ahead 1-goal, 2-1, with 2 minutes and 1 second left in the first period. So Paxton's Zach Schneider got it, and Fleming's 5. Yep. Face-off drop into Des Moines territory for the moment. A little back and forth here along the Des Moines blue line. As Des Moines goes deep into their own zone to reset, rings one hard off the boards, off the short wall, now cross ice, centering 2-on-2, Des Moines into Maverick territory. Keeney and Bear defend, nice poke check by Keeney. Now a shoulder by Keeney to pinch his man on the corner. Keeney loses his footing, Des Moines still in control somewhat, comes back out to the top of the circle, tied up slightly by Taz. Des Moines a backhand, and Rosie read it right onto the stick. Rosie will freeze the clock at 1:17 left in the first now. And Mavericks in a 2-1 lead. The Boss and Ike come out now on defense as Stoney, Heater, Taz come out on offense. Face off in Maverick territory. Puck drop. Roman feeds it back behind after the face-off win. Rings it around the corner to Taz. Taz on the short wall. Can't quite get there first. Des Moines keeps it in deep behind the net. Battle behind the net. Comes loose out to the top of the circle where Heater will gain some speed out of the zone. Heater dumps it in, chases his own, picks it up behind the net. Heater, lots of attackers, comes back out of the blue line. Ike fires right into a Des Moines player, lost it in his skate. Heater picks it up, fires, big save by Des Moines goalie, loose puck in the corner now. Heater in a corner battle with Taz and 3 Des Moines players. Des Moines pops out with it. Des Moines gets it into the neutral zone. Nice puck check by the Boss. Heater just wanted to dump and change, but it came back out to the neutral zone. Loose at the center. Tremaine will dump and chase this time, give the rest of his line, give the rest of those Mavericks a chance to change their line. Des Moines passes it dangerously in front of their own net to get it out of the zone, giving these fresh legs from the Mavs a chance to keep it in the offensive attack. Sturba tried to feed it back, got his stick tied up, now fed to the middle. Couldn't quite get there clean. A shot, bouncing shot from Ike, and a rebound chance by Tremaine, but he couldn't put it in as the buzzer rings to end the first period. 2-1. Your Mavs in the lead after one full period of play, and a good charge and attack right at the end of that first period. Nonetheless, I'd say very few shots on goal by both teams. If anything, I'd say shots on goal slightly in Des Moines' favor. They've challenged Rosie a little bit more than the Mavs have challenged the Des Moines goalie. But I would say a larger portion of this game has been played between the tops of the 2 circles and not so much deep in either end of the ice. So very even
Opposition.
Even opposition of teams here. Thank you for the help.
They've been doing a good job picking that up through the neutral zone too. They're picking our passes and getting the opportunities back and putting shots on Rosie.
Thanks, Dave, for letting me know about Worthington. I'll let the watchers at home know that Worthington is a Minnesota team. I appreciate your support, Dave. I'm going to try and keep an eye on my phone just as much as I keep an eye on the boys on the ice. Miss you, Dave. I'm going to lose my voice without you here calling all 4 games this weekend. So we look forward to having you back and appreciate any help you can give me online. The war cry for both teams ring out from the bench. A fresh 13 minutes goes on the clock. An extra buzzer to sound the start of a period. You don't hear that too often, but we'll buzz for the start and the stops, I guess, here at the Recplex. Tremaine, Davis, and Sturba out on offense. A clean win back to Nandor. Nandor cross ice to Fleming. Fleming gets in the zone and fires one just wide of the net. Nandor gets the loose puck around, fires a pop fly, lands just back behind the net. Des Moines picks it up, trying to ink their way around the boards. Fleming stops it at the blue line, fires. That one got deflected. Des Moines will pick it up and now skate it through the neutral zone. Nice poke check by Nandy. Turns it over, creating an offsides for the Des Moines team right as they were crossing the blue line. Perfectly timed. I'm sure this was not intentional, but perfectly timed poke check by Nandor to create an offsides as Des Moines was entering the zone. 12:31 left in the second. 2-1 Mavs in the lead. Puck drop, loose face-off win goes over to Keeney on the far side. He pushes it out of the zone, and Des Moines pushes it right back into Bear. Bear goes cross ice to Schneider, loses it in his skates momentarily, tied up by a Des Moines player. They'll keep it in the zone on the short wall. A board battle there, where Paxton comes out winning and pushes it cross ice to Patera. Patera nudges the his defender off the puck to keep the puck in the neutral zone. Bear comes in to help, picks it up, crosses the blue line, and Patera was just a toenail ahead of Bear as he entered the offensive zone. Bear, you could see, was about to fire one of his famous wrist shots on net, and Patera just a little too excited. Neutral zone faceoff with Aller, Schneider, Patera out there. A neutral faceoff win goes loose to the far side. Des Moines pushing it ahead. Off some skates, Patera jostling and poke checking to keep the puck going towards his favored direction. A little back and forth on the blue line. Patera, top of the circle, fires. Big save by the Des Moines goaltender. 11:38 left in the second period. 2-1 Mavs in the lead. Charlie Patera with a rifling wrist shot on goal. And Des Moines with a big save. T-squared, Stonebreaker, Courtright out on offense now. Face off in Des Moines territory. T-squared fires a pass through the slot, loose, picked up by Des Moines. Des Moines charging through the neutral zone, pinched by Boss. Des Moines will dump and chase. He picks up his own. Stoney will push it to the wall. Let's see, that's Schneider up to T-squared. T-squared working his way down the wall, feed to the middle again. Ike couldn't quite get his stick on it. Ike picks it up in the corner. Ike shake and bake around one, making his way behind the net. Stick handling. Got time. Corner goes to the net. Courtright in the middle, and goalie swallowed it up. Ike just put pucks on the net and good things will happen. He had lots of time to decide what he wanted to do with that puck, and he decided to put it right in the crease. Goalie was able to swallow it up and freeze it. Courtright in position, battling two, and that's where the dirty work's done. 11:01 left in the second, 2-1 Mavs in the lead. Stoney couldn't quite get that face-off draw, goes to the corner. Courtright will go to work against two Des Moines players in the offensive corner. He comes out with it, fires on net, big save by the goalie once again. Courtright, a soft pinch by two players in the corner, and he was still able to come out with it and get a shot on goal. Line change for the Mavericks. Jack, Heater, Taz. Yes, Taz on offense now with Fleming and Nandor on D. Faceoff goes deep into Des Moines territory, and they get control in their own zone. Nice poke check by Nandor to stall it out temporarily, but then Des Moines gets it out of the zone. Des Moines charging, bowling their way into the offensive territory, and then deep behind Omaha's goal line. A big hit from behind, no penalty. Oh, Taz struggling to get to his feet as the attack stays right around him. Fleming comes in to help out. He'll gain some speed. Down around, he does a reverse check to get the puck out of his territory. Taz will pick it up, backhand it deep into Des Moines territory. Des Moines rings it around their short wall. Vinny pinches, gets the puck over to Jack. Jack gets his shot foiled, loose puck behind the net. Here comes Heater to try and forecheck. Des Moines skating it out of their own zone. Gaining speed through the neutral zone. Plenty of defense back. Fleming deflects the first shot with his body, stalls it out at the blue line, then pushed out of the zone by Wyatt Tremaine. Tremaine at the red line, pushes it in deep, just wide of the net. Forces a dump and chase for Sturba. Sturba deflect the shot. Tremaine picked it up at the dot. Shot! Big save by the Des Moines goalie. Sturba trying to whack at it and aggravating some of the Des Moines players as he was trying to poke a loose puck in right as the whistle blew. Just doing what I'm told, he said, the other players. Great job on the attack and crashing the net by Braden Sturba. Allers, Tremaine, and Sturba out there on offense. Keeney and the Bear for defense. Des Moines won their own face-off, creating a breakaway. From the crease, Bear stirred it up and foiled the shot on goal. Now Keeney in the corner, leaning on his man. Referee stirred it up. Allers pushed it out to Sturba. And a soft dump out of the zone by Wyatt Tremaine pushes the puck. Perfect spot down in Des Moines territory. Sturba on the forecheck. Now in a corner battle with two Des Moines players. Des Moines able to push it up and center a pass across ice. Des Moines working their way through the neutral zone now. Pop fly deep behind the goal line of Omaha Mavericks. Bear picks it up. Pushes it around the short wall just out of reach of Tremaine. A shot from the blue line deflected by some bodies, pushed back in deep. Bear will repeat and try the same play again. Can Tremaine get there? Nope. Defense picks it up, pushes it back in deep again. A centering pass from Des Moines. Push towards the net, and Rosie's able to come out of the crease and swallow that one up before any other attempt is tried. Rosie stopped that clock at 8:38, 2-1. Mavs in the lead here in the second period. The fresh legs are Charlie Patera, Roman Stonebreaker, and Paxton Schneider. Defense will have the Boss and Ike. Face off in Maverick territory. Puck drop, clean win from Stoney back behind his goal line. Ike can't quite get there. He's got some battlers that are keeping it below the goal. A pop off the boards, comes out to the blue line. Nice job by Patera to get it out of the zone. Schneider on his forecheck. Cross ice pass, creates some space for Des Moines. Patera picks a pocket at the blue line, gets back into offensive territory, loses the puck at the top of the circle. Schneider picks it up, back to Patera at the middle. A shot, backhanded, goes over the top of the net. Paxton gets it in the corner. Oh, tried to shake and bake, but there was a second defender behind him. Patera comes in to help his man. Puck goes wild around the back of the net. Picked up by Stonebreaker at the blue line. Stoney rides the blue line, keeps it in deep. Des Moines from the corner, pushes it out to the middle. Picked up by Gass. Gass will skate it in, and Patera couldn't quite clear the zone fast enough. Offsides is the call. Pat on the back by Fleming to Patera as Patera was coming in to help out with that check that was going on in the corner. A little bit of a retaliate, but nonetheless a clean check and appropriate because it was on puck play. So 7:41 left in the second period. 2-1 the lead. Court right, Jack Davis, Vinny Heater, T-squared out there on offense. The neutral zone drop goes momentarily into the offensive zone, comes out, in, and then stopped for an offsides. Our defense is Nandor and Fleming. Same offensive legs. We'll repeat this neutral zone face-off they just had. And Jack Davis whacked this one hard into the offensive territory. Des Moines returns the favor, sends it back out to Fleming at the red line. Courtright couldn't get out fast enough, and we'll try again for a third time with the same legs on the ice and the same familiar neutral zone dot. 7:26 left in the second. Courtright rushes in. T-squared comes in to help. Fires one off the side of the net. Then rushes to his own rebound. Des Moines picks up the loose puck. A pop fly to the center. Des Moines, lots of defense. 1-on-3. Turned over. Fleming hits the brakes. Stumbles behind his own net. Launches it hard off the board, out of the zone, and into Des Moines territory. T-squared on the forecheck. Creates a turnover from the wall to Courtright just through his legs and bounces out to neutral zone. Fleming backhands it back to T-squared. Mishandles the pass, stalled out on the blue line. Courtright there to help. Nandor to help. Comes all the way back to Jack Davis. Jack Davis goes center to T-squared. Creates a small amount of room. He's going to dump and change along with Courtright. Des Moines picks it up behind their own net. Circling out of their zone, a centering pass, loose. Stalled by Nandor, then picked up by Taz. Taz poked ahead by Allers. Allers outnumbered by defense. Now he's got Heater. Then up comes Taz. Stalled out in the slot. No shot on goal. Des Moines able to pop it off the boards ahead into Mav territory. Des Moines centering pass through the slot. Allers does a good job of tying up the stick and foiling any shooting chance. Some back and forth here in the neutral zone like we saw in the first period. Allers picks up the loose puck, gets into the zone, feeds it over to Heater. Heater back to Taz. A one-touch picked off by Des Moines and a breakaway for Des Moines. Fleming on the heels and Rosie with a big save. Fleming picks it up behind his goal line, rings it hard around the glass, stalled out by Des Moines, picked up by Tremaine. Tremaine one-on-one, lots of attackers behind him. Gets the shot early and that one goes wide of the net. Sturba, loose puck, lots of attackers on his back. He can't get the shot off. Des Moines desperately clears it out of the zone. Keeney picks it up at his own blue line. Cross ice to Bear. Bear forward to Wyatt. Wyatt centering to Sturba. Sturba fires. Blocker saved by Des Moines. Tremaine picks up the puck in the corner. Two attackers turn it over. Fish it up the short wall and get it out of the zone. Keeney in a foot race back to his own territory. Pinching at the short wall, gets it out of the zone. Des Moines picks it back up in the neutral zone. They get clear. Then they quickly dump it in. Bear pitchforks it backhand up to Sturba, gets out of the zone. Sturba loses control to Des Moines. Des Moines circles at the red line, enters right back into offense. Shot just wide of the net. Des Moines gets the loose puck, keeps it in deep. Nice job by Keeney to be prepared for that check. A centering pass, a backhanded no-look on Rosie, and Rosie does a great job of tracking that puck and making the save. That was a no-look backhander, a clever, just soft touch on goal.
Oh, yeah.
And if Rosie wasn't paying attention, that could have been a sneaky one that went in the back of the net.
Wasn't much to read on that shot. He just let it go.
Eyes on the puck. Good job, Rosie. 4:30 left in the second. 2-1 Mavs in the lead. Des Moines with a face-off win and a shot from the defense that Rosie read right again and froze that play. Another face-off in Omaha territory. Jack Davis. Let's see here. Jack, Schneider, and Patera. Boss will get in a scrummage off that face-off drop. He'll get the tripping call. He's the man who hit the ice, but he got his stick tangled up in the player as well. They're going to call the boss for tripping. And this will be the first penalty of the tournament. First penalty of the game with 4:20 left in the second period. The boss will go to the sin bin for tripping, a 5-on-4 power play for the, nice work, for the Des Moines Junior Buccaneers. Your shorthanded unit will be Jack Davis, Paxton Schneider, Aller. Oh, Jack's coming off. It's going to be Allers and Schneider on offense with Fleming and Nandor on defense.
So they're calling a 2 and an 8.
Oh, Taz is going to go to the bench probably for a retaliation or some sort of mumbled words out of the boss's mouth. I'm imagining that gave him a major. So a 2 and 10 will happen for the Omaha Junior Mavericks. That's big penalty minutes. Boss is going to sit for
unsportsmanlike.
Unsportsmanlike conduct for more than half of the third period and the entire rest of this 4 minutes in the second period. Still a 5-on-4 for the Omaha Mavericks, but Taz will sit this minute 30 for tripping, and Boss will have some extended time to think about what he's done. Shame for shame. Holler's going to take this drop in his own end. An aggressive puck dropped by the ref. Des Moines wins it. Shot from the blue line. Nice leg kick by Fleming to send it over to Allers, and Allers will clear the zone. Allers on the forecheck. Des Moines passing it out of their zone. Skating through the neutral zone. Lots of good defense back. Beautiful poke check by Schneider. Allers stirred it up a little on the red line. Des Moines takes over. Pass back into their own zone. They regroup. The pass is out of reach and goes deep into Maverick territory, and that's blown dead for an icing. Wish I could see the time on the penalty clock and tell you what's left. That was 4:20, so we're probably about 30 seconds off of the penalty on Taz, sitting the tripping call for the boss. So probably a full minute left at least on the power play that Des Moines has. Stoney taking the draw on Des Moines end. Des Moines wins it cleanly, gets out of the zone, loses control, and Keeney fires it in. Des Moines regroups in their own territory. Cross ice, then centering. Nice one-touch pass. Beautiful poke check by the Bear. Can't quite get it out of the zone. Cross ice pass by Des Moines. Fires, and a big glove save by Rosie. That one was going to go over his head into the back of the net, and he read that right over his head into his glove. He probably shouldn't have went down, but he did, and he was able to track it still and read his glove up over his head to make the save. Puck drop in Maverick territory. Another Des Moines face-off win. They softly feed it into the short wall. From the corner, Des Moines feed to the middle, picks it up, shot just wide of the net. Des Moines picks up the loose puck in the corner. Feeds to the middle, batted away by the Bear. Des Moines picks it up along the short wall. Feed to the middle, foiled pass. pass. Now Keeney rings it off the glass, gets that one loose all the way back down into the Des Moines blue line. Des Moines resetting in the neutral zone. Now Taz comes off the bench, full strength, 5-on-5 hockey. Nice pinch along the board by Bear. Keeney feeds it along the short wall. A little help from Allers. Can't quite get it out of the zone. Des Moines keeps it in. Top of the circle. Stick handles around one. Now in the slot. Loose puck fired. Wide of the net. Des Moines picking up the loose puck along the corner, along the short wall, and firing it back behind the goal line. Pitchfork by Keeney off the short wall. Taz pitchforks it backhanded out into the neutral zone. Change on the fly. Des Moines resetting in their own territory. Centering pass. Heater with some legs coming off the bench. Stirs it up as they enter the zone. Des Moines at the blue line. Dumps it in deep. Bear picks it up behind his own goal line. Tries to get it ahead to Davis. Jumbled a little bit. Stirred up by Stoney. Stoney got it out of the zone. Des Moines now resetting on their own blue line. Skating into offensive territory again. Keeney pushes to the corner, centering pass, kick to the back behind the net by Bear. Bear circling behind his goal line, gaining speed out of his zone. Lots of attackers in front of him. He's going to chase his own pass. Deep in Des Moines' corner. One-on-one corner battle. Des Moines backhands it up the short wall. Comes back out to the blue line. Allers there. Pushes it back into the circle. Des Moines returns a favor, ping-pongs it out to Ike. Ike off the boards up to Allers. Allers gets around one, gets around two, from the hash, shot wide of the net. Loose puck on the short wall. Courtright picks it up. Courtright from behind, pushes it through the slot, and that one goes loose. Ike keeps it in though. Des Moines picks it up behind their goal line. Allers keeps it in. Courtright forced to continue forechecking. He's running out of steam. Des Moines rings it hard off their glass, and Bear can't quite keep it in. Used his feet, though, to stall it in the neutral zone. Courtright re-enters quickly. The dump and chase for T-Squared. T-Squared gets there first. T-Squared from behind the net. Circling, protecting, working his way to the slot, turned over, and Des Moines now 2-on-2 coming the other way. Fleming poke checks the pass attempt. Des Moines' second attempt goes all the way across ice. Ike picks up the loose puck, pushes it up the short wall to T-Squared. T-Squared working his way into offense. Outnumbered by D, takes a shot. That one ringing all the way around. Courtright pushes it out to the middle. Des Moines picks it up, gaining speed through the neutral zone. Lots of defense back. Shot on goal. Bigger glove saved by Rosie. How about that goaltending? Rosie just sharp as a tack, reading these shots. Great focus today. Rosie stops the clock with 3.7 seconds left in the second period, 2-1. Thank you, Rosie, for maintaining a Maverick lead. Puck drop in Maverick territory. Des Moines batted it in deep right as the buzzer ends to sound the end of number 2. I would say the penalties, that penalty, that major and minor, gave Des Moines the favor in that second period for them to have a little bit more offensive challenge. Not a tremendous amount of more shots on goal, but very dangerous shots on goal, scoring attempts for the Des Moines Jr Buccaneers. And Rosie, how about this kid shutting the door?
Oh yeah, he's getting that glove out there. He's making plays with it.
Tracking the puck well, resetting well, watching it all the way right into his glove. You knew he made a mistake when he went down on that high shot, but still raised his glove up high enough to read it. I'm sure that one would have hit the back of the net.
And that last one he had where he's over at the post and he coordinates the glove and the push all at the same time, and he gets there. Just that shot would have been right inside the post.
Mavs and not a lot of rebound opportunities. So defense doing a terrific job of clearing the puck. There we go. That sounded like maybe Nandor or somebody different. It wasn't Jack Davis, but a nice loud war cry from the OMA Jr Mavericks bench to try and get them fired up for period 3 and maintain a 2-1 lead. The boss goes back to his box, Puck drops the start of the third. Patera bowling his way into the zone. Nice shot just wide of the net. Des Moines rings it around behind. Picks it up on their short wall. Has a minute. Passes it ahead. And getting somewhat of a challenge breakaway opportunity. They're offsides. They'll have to reset. Nice job by defense, and a back checker was Paxton Schneider to foil that offensive charge. Des Moines now charging right back in. Poke checked again by Roman Stonebreaker that time. Stirred up right at the blue line. Ike slows him down at the short wall. Shot! Oh, off the back of the net! That one's off the top of the net. Rosie swallows up the second follow-up shot from the blue line. And that'll freeze the clock with 12:14 left in this game.
I don't think I've ever seen one go over the crossbar, hit the back crossbar on top of the net, and then bounce back out in front of the. That was an interesting bounce.
Oh my gosh, the post guard, the crossbar gods are on Rosie's side today. He's going to be thanking that net. A foiled stick handling at the blue line. Des Moines is bullied out of the offensive zone. Omaha goes in offsides as Vinny's relentless attack kind of forced the player and the puck into an offense for his favor. Jack Davis, Taz, Heater out there on offense. Keeney and Nandor on defense. Jack dumps it in for Heater to chase. Des Moines there first. Rings it around the corner. Stalls out on the short wall. Nandor can't pinch. A little help from Jack Davis keeps it in deep. Now Taz forced to forecheck. Des Moines gaining speed out of their corner, centering pass, and another one-touch. Poke check and a pickup by Keeney. Stalls it out of the blue line. Heater coming back the other way. Outnumbered by defense. Stops at the top of the circle. Gets his pocket picked. Des Moines resets behind their own net. Des Moines. Long cross-ice pass, one-on-one, Nandor poke and feet check to stall it out of the red line. Des Moines continually forced to reset in the neutral zone. We'll have some back and forth before Sturba fired that one into the offense. Des Moines once again trying to get it out. Stalled out by Tremaine's feet. Sturba, top of the circle, fires. And the goalie swallows it up. 11:06 left in the game. 2-1, your Mavs in the lead. Allers, Sturba. Oh gosh. Tremaine out there on offense. The Bear and Ike on defense. Here comes a face-off drop in Des Moines territory. A neutral win here. Gets kicked by Des Moines deep into their own zone. Rings around the short wall. Des Moines centering feed. Comes just past the blue line. Forcing Mavs to reset. Ike changes direction. Allers picks it up. Gets into the zone. Top of the circle. Fires. Blocker just over the top of the net. Sturba on the forecheck. Centers one across the slot. Ike picks it up. Top of the circle. Fires one. Big save. Kick to the corner. Tremaine got his feet taken out from under him. He gets back to his ground and he tries to body his man off the puck. Des Moines passes cross ice to get it out of the zone. In the neutral zone. Poke checked at the blue line. Turned over by T-squared. T-squared. He's got two men to beat. Goes to the center. Poke check. Leaves it for Allers. Allers to T-squared. Big shot. And a save by Des Moines. Court right. Rings it in deep. T-squared. Fetching in after the corner. Trying to poke it up to Bear, gets tangled slightly. Bear at the blue line, winds up, fires just wide of the net. Rings it all the way around for Ike. Ike from the dot, now going behind. Ike tries to feed the middle. An attacker laying down, blocks it. Ike gets his own, back to the middle again. Comes all the way out to Bear. Toe drags around one from the dot, fires, big save, rebound, another big save by the Des Moines goaltender. Relentless attack by the Omaha Mavericks.
Do an amazing job making opportunities, though.
Wow! And the passing even, loved it. What a line, what a shift for that Maverick line. And unbelievable goaltending by the Des Moines Tendy. Face-off win back to Fleming, fires, tangled in some legs. Nandor comes cross ice to help. Ties it up still in the neutral zone. Fleming gains offense. From the wall, fires well high and wide. Nandor pinches and keeps it in the zone. Loose puck at the blue line. Still trickling out to neutral zone. Des Moines taps it ahead. Des Moines They'll dump and chase. Fleming will get there first. Fleming behind his own net, changes direction, creates some space, takes a look, gets an attacker on him, tries to go backhand. Des Moines picks it up, feeds it to the slot, a shot, a save by Rosie, still loose, a backhand that goes wide. Des Moines in the corner, feeds it back to the blue line. Blue line fires, Rosie another big save. Stoney pokes it up the wall. Patera gets bodied, stalled out for a moment, and then dumps it into Des Moines territory. Des Moines, cross ice pass, mishandled. Stoney from his own, pitchfork back to Patera. Patera at his own blue line, tries to go around the wall. Couldn't quite get past. Checking from behind, doesn't get called. Somebody in the audience still sure saw it. Big shot from the blue line. Des Moines blocked by Fleming's legs. He gets some feet in the way. Des Moines will get another chance. Shot. Big save by Rosie. Swallowed it up. I don't think he realizes it's in his block. Oh, no, it is in his glove. Whew, losing my voice on game one already. The excitement is starting to get overwhelming here. 8:24 left in the third period. 2-1 Mavs in the lead. Jack Davis ties him up right off the faceoff drop. Des Moines picks it up, goes behind, tries to feed it out to the blue line. A backhander keeps it into the slot. Jack picks it up. Soft touch ahead to Heater. Loose puck picked up by Des Moines. Fed ahead to the middle. Des Moines gets it into territory. Lots of good defense back. Jack Davis picks up the loose puck. Soft touch up to Heater. Heater, 2-on-2. Fires from the blue line. Big save by the Tendy. Des Moines pushes it to the wall. Picks it up and feeds to the middle. Keeney keeps it in. Des Moines, a little ping pong in their own territory here as the puck barely trickles across the blue line. Keeney kept it in, and then Des Moines poked it right back out. Bear calling for it, loses his footing as he was crossing the red line, regains control. Dump and chase. Sturba, the forechecker, stalling it out slightly behind the goal line. Des Moines rings it around the boards. Allers trucked hard, shoulder to head. He's moving and he's okay, but he took luckily it wasn't it was more of a glancing shoulder to head, so he was still moving and okay, but nonetheless a bad hit directly on the glancing face mask of Allers as he was reaching for that puck to keep it in the zone. Mavericks will get their first power play. Boss finally just came out of the box after serving his major, so Mavericks full strength and power play time for the Mavs. Face-off goes to the wall. Des Moines able to ink it out. A one-on-one. Des Moines coming back. Nice pinch by Fleming. Shoulder to shoulder to create the turnover. Long pass just out of reach of Courtright. That'll be an icing. That was a gentle but high-speed check. I don't know how else to describe it. Both players were moving fast, and Fleming just pinched along the board, shoulder to shoulder, nice and easy, and took his man down. Clean check, nice well play by Will Fleming. Allers pokes it behind, and the attackers stirred up before Des Moines gets a shot on goal. Ike gaining speed through the neutral zone. Ike feeds it to the middle, just ahead of Courtright. Des Moines bats it to the boards. Ike still circling here to try and create a power play opportunity. Stirs it up before it leaves the zone. Gets kicked right back to him. Ike from the boards, top of the circle, feeds one up over the top of the net, deflected by the goalie. Stoney can't quite keep it in, but it touched his feet, so icing is waved off. Fleming's back to retrieve. He's got a forechecker. 40 seconds left on the power play. Fleming gaining speed through the neutral zone. 3-on-3, picked up by Patera, fired just barely over the crossbar. Comes loose out to Ike on the blue line, feeds it off the wall up to Schneider. Schneider has to reach for it, loses control. Des Moines can't quite clear it. Ike dumps it in deep. Patera on the forecheck. Ooh, a dangerous hit from behind from Patera. They're not going to call anything again. Fleming from the blue line fires through traffic. Rebound in front. Big save again. Another rebound. Another big save. Patera circles, fires another big save. Loose puck in the slot. Unbelievably finally cleared to the boards. Fleming fires it again off the post, then off the ref, then into the corner. Rung around the boards to Ike. Ike, a soft touch to keep it in. Comes right back out to him, sticking legs to keep the puck in. That one actually trickled on goal and is frozen by the goaltender. 5:30 left in the game. Omaha pushing their luck on a couple of these hits. Patera laid one, and you heard it from the audience over here. It was a little too much from behind, driving a player down, and it probably should have been, if it was any closer to the boards, it would have been a definite call. So Omaha being careful. Big shot from Keeney off the face-off win. Nice job, Keeney going for that top glove side, and goalie read it right into the trapper. Freezing it with 5:23 left. A penalty has expired. We're 5-on-5 hockey. Ollers couldn't sword fight for the win. Des Moines coming out through the neutral zone. Looked like it was going to be offside, but didn't quite cross the line. Des Moines resetting in their own zone once again. Heater on the attack. Foils a pass. Picked up by Keeney. Taz, soft push down at the red line. Des Moines able to get it into the zone. Nice pinch by Bear to create the turnover. Keeney, soft touch up to Heater. Heater gets bodied off the puck. A shot from the blue line, and Rosie Leo lays that one to the side. Heater on the short wall once again in a board battle. Bear comes in to help. Puck slowly gaining its way to the middle, but then back to the wall. Des Moines doesn't lost sight of the puck. Gives Bear the chance to poke it ahead. Can't quite get it out of the zone, but here comes Keeney, bats it out to the red line. Des Moines circling in the neutral zone, resetting as Omaha changes lines. Gaining speed into the offensive territory, forced to the wall. The centering pass foiled. Sturba pokes it ahead to the middle. Des Moines, the one-touch cross ice, trying to one-touch it into the zone. Nice poke check by Wyatt. Batted off of his tape. Nice turnover, and Sturba's got a chance. He fires one just wide of the net. Tremaine on the forecheck. Two guys. Sturba coming in to help. Puck comes up to Sturba from the short wall. Went cross ice. Sturba, that was his side, so he's going to have to hightail it. Nice job. Nice feet by Keeney. Stirs it up. Des Moines will get offensive territory. Stoney poke checking, keeping along the boards. Puck continues to roll around the horn for Bear to pick up on his own short wall. Cross ice pass, bounces over Sturba's tape. Des Moines poking it right back in. Des Moines, top of the circle, fires just wide of the net. Fresh legs, T-squared. Gets pinched right at the blue line in a sword fight, gets it out of the zone, battling two players. Can't quite get through traffic, but he's going to ram it in hard all the way below the goal line. Des Moines picks it up. Des Moines, nice job by T-square to attempt the forecheck. Courtright gets the turnover. Gets his pocket picked. He returns the favor. T-square regains control from the dot. Fire save. Goes behind. Loose puck out front. Jack Davis shot. Save, but then the rebound by Courtright. Man of a rod. I think there was 3 shots in a row. Courtright ended up being the last one in the crease as the last save came, and he was able to push that one home to put the Mavs up 3-1. I'm going to say that's T-squared to Sturba to Courtright. 2 assists on that goal if we can do that. Whew, 2:51 left in the game.
Pick 2.
Mavs lead 3-1 now after that Courtright goal. Face off, loose back into Mavs territory. Fleming fires back up to neutral zone. Schneider gains territory along the boards. Backhand towards the slot off the side of the net. Pokes it around behind. Des Moines picks it up. Des Moines skating it out of their territory. The tripping is going to give Mavericks a short. Send Mavericks to the box. A sword fight with Fleming there. Ends the play as he was able to stick lift and touch up. That's going to send Nandor to the box for that tripping call. For 1:30 of the last 2:26 left in the game.
Back to that goal, that little backhand pass that Tatum had up behind the goalie. That was pretty. Jack got the shot off.
That was the sneaky
that goalie
one.
Managed to get back.
Yeah. The win The shot had a squeaking of net open, but it went wide of the net. Des Moines on the attack on this power play. They try and feed it out to the circle. Nice poke check by Stoney. Foils the shot opportunity. Ike picks it up behind his own net. Ike, soft off the board, tried to get it up to Stoney, loses it in some feet. Des Moines regains control at the blue line. Shake and bake. Burns Stoney, goes up to the corner, and nice job to intercept the pass from Tremaine. Tremaine goes the length of the ice. That one's going to be an icing. Stop the clock at 1:49 left in the game. 52 seconds left in the Des Moines power play. Faceoff will come back down to Omaha territory where Jack Davis and Paxton Schneider will be on offense, and the boss and Ike will be on defense. Another face-off win by Des Moines. Feed it back to the blue line. Blue line feeds it up the wall. A board battle, then fed to the middle. Bounces back to the wall for Ike. Ike tries to bounce it out. Des Moines keeps it in. From the blue line, fires off Ike's skates. From the corner, a pop fly to the crease, and Rosie swallowed that one up. 1:30 left in the game. 33 seconds left in the Maverick penalty. 3-1 Mavericks in the lead. Jack Davis and Paxton Schneider remain on offense, but Bear and Keeney come out on defense. A neutral face-off win goes behind Mavericks goal line. Keeney bearing down in the corner against two. Des Moines comes out, feeds the crease, and Bear battling prevents any shot on goal. Puck comes loose out to neutral zone. Paxton Schneider on the forecheck, but Des Moines passing it ahead. Des Moines centering pass, gaining offensive territory. Lots of defense, and Bear pokes it away to the boards. Des Moines dumps it around behind the goal line, forcing Keeney to retrieve at the corner. Pushes it up to Jack. Jack on a board battle now. Blue line keeps it in. Bear behind his own goal line. Tries to shake and bake to avoid one. Pushes it a little too hard off the boards. The Des Moines defense mishandles but keeps it in. Des Moines fires from the blue, just wide of the net. Bounced off the back of the net. Now Keeney goes to work behind his own goal. Jousting in a board battle against one big man. In comes another Des Moines player since now we're even strength. 5-on-5 hockey. Jack Davis gets to the corner first. Goes cross ice to Patera. Patera can't quite handle it in his feet. It's a second chance, but Des Moines too fast. They bat it out of their own zone. Bear, nice soft touch up the boards to get the puck going the way he wants it. Change on the fly. Out comes the rest of the line. It's T-squared Allers and Patera. Puck loose, down for Bear in his corner again. Just out of reach for Allers. As the end of the game buzzes to a close, and 3-1 Mavericks pull off the first win of the Rumble at the Recplex here in Des Moines, beating the Des Moines Junior Buccaneers blue team 3-1. They'll line up for the ultimate show of sportsmanship and shake hands at center ice. The boys will let Rosie take the lead after having a tremendous game and making some just showtime saves here. I'm not surprised SportsCenter is going to probably call us and ask us about that.
They're going to want to highlight him this week for sure.
What's number 35? We need his info. SportsCenter. Da-da-da, da-da-da.
Oh, Rosie had a lot of good saves, but the boys also made a lot of good opportunities out of rebounds and backdoors, and not a lot of just blatant shots, but picking up the trash, getting it going.
Nice job by Patera. Rosie, congratulating the opponent goaltender. He had a tremendous game too.
He played great.
Yeah, we don't know the shots on goal. They're saying 11-14, but I think that's pretty skewed. I'm not going to go on what that says. I think the shots were relatively even, if not by the end of the game, slightly in Omaha's favor for that attack towards late in the third period. A good start. I would say a great start. We always want to come out winning. Did we get the first goal of this game? No. So that's something that the coach has been working on. The boys continue to hear over and over is we want to get the first goal of the games. We didn't. But in normal Maverick fashion, we progressively play harder as the game goes on, and you saw that in this textbook Junior Maverick play, and we came back and kept battling. I'm going to say nothing changed from the last intermission, and a lot of this game was played between the tops of each of the circles and not too tremendously deep in the end, in control. There were a lot of dump and chase, dump and changes, but there was a lot of resetting by Des Moines at the top of their own circle, which made it really difficult for them to put shots on goals when they're constantly trying to reset in the neutral zone or at the top of their own zone. So kudos to the Mavericks for standing them up at the blue line and preventing a whole lot of shots on goal and offensive attack. Boys will get some rest. Hopefully stay warm in the cold weather. We'll go check in at our hotel for the rest that haven't, and we're going to be prepared for 11 a.m. Team dinner next. Team dinner, so we'll be able to celebrate a little bit and have a nice warm meal. Then we're going to get a good night rest, and we're going to be right back here at the Recplex in Des Moines for 11 a.m. puck drop against the Sioux City Musketeers Orange team, Junior Musketeers. So thank you everybody for watching, and we appreciate your support. We'll see you at 11 tomorrow.